Listen to Dracula by Bram Stoker. Part 2. Level 2. Check out Part 1 here.
8. Arthur Holmwood arrived at Lucy's house and found her in a very poor state. Her skin was more pale, and there were dark circles under her eyes. Every day she became weaker. Arthur was afraid of losing her. He invited Dr. Seward to help her, but the doctor couldn't understand the cause of her illness. Lucy's physical condition is normal, Seward said. She has bad dreams. She is sleepwalking. I don't think I can help her. But I have a good friend in Amsterdam. His name is Van Helsing, and he is a professor. He has successfully dealt with many strange cases. Van Helsing arrived very soon. He was a short man with a big head and a square chin. One look at him was enough to understand that he was intelligent. He talked to Lucy about her disease. Then he took Dr. Seward aside. It is very serious. She has lost a lot of blood. But it is not a regular illness. It is a fight between life and death, Van Helsing said. We will keep a close eye on her. Poor girl. She is so lovely and kind. Lucy got worse every day. She turned pale as a ghost. Even her lips lost color. She was so weak that she couldn't speak. She needs blood or she will die, Van Helsing said one day. I am her fiancé, and I am ready to give my life for her, Arthur said. Please, Professor, take my blood. You are very brave, my friend, Van Helsing responded. He prepared the instruments for the operation. Arthur's blood flowed into Lucy's body, and life returned to her. After the operation, Van Helsing talked to Dr. Seward. My friend, he said, watch over her every night. You will have to sit here by her bed. If you leave her even for a minute, terrible things might happen. I will go to Amsterdam and bring the necessary tools. Then we will begin to treat her. For several nights, Dr. Seward didn't sleep. He kept careful watch over Lucy. But he grew tired. One night he fell asleep. Lucy was alone. That morning, Van Helsing came back. He woke Dr. Seward up, and they ran to Lucy's room. She appeared very weak. She couldn't even talk. Van Helsing carried through another operation. This time, Dr. Seward gave his blood to the poor girl. The next day, Lucy felt better. Van Helsing brought her white flowers. My dear, you will sleep with these flowers around your neck, he told her. Lucy smelled them and smiled. You are playing a joke on me, aren't you? This is regular garlic, she laughed. Believe me, I never do anything without a reason, Van Helsing insisted. Later, Dr. Seward took him aside. He seemed upset. My friend, I thought you were a serious scientist. Are you trying to fight some dark powers? He asked. Maybe I am, the professor replied sadly.
Send this video to your friends if they like reading books, too.
9. The next morning, the men walked up to an awful scene. Lucy was extremely weak and pale. The garlic flowers lay in the corner of the room. Perhaps she has thrown them away at night, Van Helsing said. She has lost a lot of blood again. Suddenly they heard the voice of Quincy Morris. the American who was in love with Lucy. "May I help you?" he asked. "I got a telegram from Arthur. I have been worried about Miss Lucy. Take my blood," he said bravely. After another difficult operation, Lucy fell into a heavy sleep. Then Quincy Morris turned to Dr. Seward. "Tell me, my friend," he said, "both Arthur and you have given your blood to Lucy, right?" "That's right," Dr. Seward replied. "Then where did all that blood go?" Quincy asked. Dr. Seward had no answer. Early in the morning, Van Helsing called for Arthur. "She is dying," he said. "Her fiancé must say his last goodbye." Arthur entered the room and fell to his knees by her side. He noticed that Lucy's white teeth became sharper. "My dear Arthur," she cried, "you have come." Arthur held her hand tightly in his. She closed her eyes and died. Everyone was heartbroken. Van Helsing laid more garlic flowers by Lucy's bedside. Then he took Dr. Seward aside. "My friend, I can imagine how difficult it is for you," he began. "But the fight with death is not over yet. We are going to have another operation. We will cut off Lucy's head and remove her heart," he said quietly. "What are you saying?" Dr. Seward shouted. "Please, Professor, what you suggest is impossible." Van Helsing didn't let him finish. "You are in pain because you loved her," he said. "But you will soon realize that we have no other choice." Lucy's funeral took place the next day. In her coffin, she looked as beautiful as she did before her illness. She was buried in a lonely graveyard, far from London. 1 week after Lucy's death, a terrible article was published in the London newspaper. In the town of Whitby, some children disappeared at night. The police found them in the morning. They all repeated the same thing. "We were with the beautiful lady ghost." There were strange round marks on their necks. They looked like the marks of sharp teeth. 10. In Budapest, Mina sits by Jonathan's bedside all the time. He is getting better. According to the nurse's story, he has been under a lot of stress. He still talks in his sleep about terrible events. The nurse is afraid to repeat them out loud. However, Jonathan cannot remember anything that happened to him in Dracula's castle. The nurse gives Jonathan's diary to Mina. Jonathan looked at the diary in her hands and said quietly, "My dear Mina, husband and wife should have no secrets from each other. This diary keeps the terrible secret of Transylvania. But if you read it, don't ever talk to me about it. I don't want to know anything. Has it really happened? Or am I crazy?" He covered his face with his hands and cried. "Jonathan, I will never open this diary," she promised. But then she added, "Only if it is necessary to save a life." She put her arms around him. "Let's get married today," Jonathan said. "I will never leave you again." That same evening they became husband and wife. Soon Jonathan was well again, and they returned to England. One day they were walking through the park. Suddenly he stopped in fear and held Mina's hand tight. His legs shook. In the crowd, he noticed a tall, thin man with long gray hair and thin features. "It's him!" Jonathan cried. "What is the matter, dear?" Mina asked. Jonathan was about to fall, but she caught him by the arm. "It is the Count! But he looks younger. I can't believe it. He is here! He is here!" Jonathan lost his senses and fell. Mina was scared. "I am sure that something terrible has happened to him in Transylvania. I must read his diary," she thought to herself. They returned home to receive awful news. There was a telegram from Van Helsing. "Poor Lucy is dead."
Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more audiobooks like this.
11. The next morning, Van Helsing came to visit the Harkers. Mina told him that Jonathan was unwell after his journey to Transylvania. Van Helsing read his diary and listened to his long, scary story. After that, he became certain that they were dealing with an ancient vampire. He went to see Dr. Seward at once. "My friend, I am going to explain to you our terrible situation," Van Helsing began. "But you must promise to believe me. Of course you have heard the stories of the unknown lady ghost?" "Yes," Dr. Seward replied. "Do you have any thoughts?" Van Helsing asked. "The children had strange marks on their necks. They are the same as Lucy's," Dr. Seward answered. "Exactly. Now, my friend, I need you to believe the impossible," Van Helsing said. "The person who has left those marks is Lucy. I know it is hard to believe, but I will show you." At night, Van Helsing and Dr. Seward went to the graveyard. They found Lucy's coffin. It was empty. "Perhaps someone has stolen the body," Dr. Seward said. But he knew that wasn't true. "All right, let's wait until morning," Van Helsing suggested. "I am certain that Lucy will return." In the morning they opened the coffin again. Lucy lay there, and she looked incredibly beautiful. Her skin was soft and healthy, and her lips were red like roses. "You see, my friend," Van Helsing said, "Lucy is a vampire. She is the lady ghost from the children's stories. She catches them and drinks their blood. We must stop her and destroy her." Dr. Seward was heartbroken. "Destroy her," he cried. But he knew that there was no choice. They returned home and told Arthur about their decision. "I can't let you do this to my poor Lucy," he protested. He was in shock. Van Helsing put his hand on Arthur's shoulder. "Dear Arthur, I understand how much pain this is causing you," he said. "But I have to save my friends, and poor Lucy too. She is not the girl you loved. She is undead, and she is killing people. We have to stop her, and you, her fiancé, must come with me." And then Arthur agreed. 12. At night the men came to the graveyard. They found Lucy's coffin empty again. They hid behind the trees and waited. In the dark of night, a white figure appeared among the trees. In her arms she carried a small child. Arthur looked at her in fear. It wasn't his Lucy. It was a terrible vampire that lived in her beautiful body. She noticed them and prepared to attack. She moved quickly like a wild animal. But Van Helsing stepped forward and held out a cross. Lucy jumped back and fell into the coffin. At that moment, Arthur ran a thick, sharp stick through her body. The vampire let out a terrible cry. Her eyes burned. When she was dead, the men saw the real Lucy again. There was a soft expression on her beautiful face. She was finally at peace. "Now, my friend, you may kiss her. God has taken her at last," Van Helsing said. Arthur fell to his knees and cried. He kissed his dead fiancée on the lips. "Now leave me alone with her," Van Helsing said. "I must do one more thing." The men left. Van Helsing cut off Lucy's head and filled her mouth with garlic. Then he closed the coffin and returned to the house. 13. Van Helsing suggests that Mina and Jonathan stay at Dr. Seward's apartment in the mental hospital. Soon Jonathan discovers an interesting fact. Somebody has delivered 50 wooden boxes filled with earth from Transylvania to England. At the moment, most of the boxes are in Carfax, but where are the rest of them? Jonathan has to find that out. One night, all the friends came together at the mental hospital. Van Helsing explained to them the nature of their enemy. He was a powerful and very dangerous vampire. However, Van Helsing knew his weak spots. He gave everyone crosses and garlic flowers. The men decided to go to Carfax and destroy the wooden boxes. On their way through the hospital, they visited Renfield, the strange patient. He walked nervously from corner to corner. When he saw Dr. Seward, he cried and asked to let him leave the hospital at once. But he couldn't tell the reason, and he looked scared to death. The doctor refused to listen. In the afternoon, the men went to Carfax. There they found a room with 29 boxes. Van Helsing put a cross inside each one of them. The men spent the whole night in the house, but Dracula didn't appear. "We will find the rest of the boxes later," Van Helsing said. When the sun rose, they returned to the hospital. Some days later, Jonathan learned that Dracula had one more house near London, so it was possible that they could find the rest of the boxes there. The men decided to destroy all of them.
For more English books for all levels, check out appava.com. And now, watch this video to improve your English right now.